So many of us choose our path out of fear disguised as practicality. What we really want seems impossibly out of reach and ridiculous to expect, so we never dare to ask the universe for it. I'm saying I'm the proof that you can ask the universe for it. I realized one night in LA that the purpose of my life had always been to free people from concern, just like my dad. I did something that made people present their best selves to me wherever I go. How will you serve the world? What do they need that your talent can provide? That's all you have to figure out. I can tell you from experience, the effect you have on others is the most valuable currency there is. You can fail at what you don't want, so you might as well take a chance on doing what you love. Relax and dream up a good life.
So growing up, it was kind of a misfortune for me. I was very, very kind of an outcast. I had kind of a really curly hair, which was an obstacle in those days, and also I was extremely short, 2 or 3 inches shorter than the shortest girl. So that created a lot of problems for me, and then I internalized a lot of that, and so I finally got brave enough at the early teenage to start to want to do something and make a name for myself. So, and I was watching Rocky, and the next night Muhammad Ali was on TV, and between those two I made a decision. It just clicked in my head, hey, you know what? I'm a small guy, but they have small weights. So I'm going to do this. I made a conscious decision at that time that I was not only going to be a fighter, but I was going to have a title belt. And lo and behold, I was driven all the way to that goal. And it happened. I wasn't going to let anything stop me. And it was just to combat all the negativity that I had received growing up as a child with these problems. Being made fun of, being bullied, and just being so small, I couldn't defend myself. I'm just a small guy, very small. So that's what motivated me. And so as I matured, I was able to be thankful that I didn't have something worse happen to me like other people that are worse off than me. So it's actually been a blessing. I have no complaints, but I turned it into something positive. But then again, other things happen as adults. I went through the boxing, and when you're a boxer and you're winning, you're a hero. When you lose, you're zero. And that's what happened. Was I lost. I won so much, and then I lost, and then I just lost hope and got out of it and went and continued in a union trade that I'm in, even to this day. And I worked, and I left the boxing career behind, and then worked all the way until I was able to retire, which I am now. And I always had this mindset that someday I'm going to make a comeback, and I would put it off. Well, okay, maybe when I'm 35. Well, not 35. Let's see. I got to lose too much weight. Maybe let's do it when I'm 40. It'll have a big impact when I'm 40. And then when I got to 40, I said, well, you know what? At 45, people will be amazed, a 45-year-old. And then when 45 came, I said, well, you know what? No, 50's a 50, because then it'll be really rare. When it got to 50, I thought, well, if I don't do it by 55, I can't do it. I'm not going to do it at 60. So 55 is it. And it's happening. It's happening. That happened at the Hollywood Palladium in the ring with Sugar Shane Mosley. In that fight, literally in that fight, that fight brought me out of a short retirement, a comeback fight with him, a huge amateur name, more famous than I'll ever be at that time, and he wasn't even pro. His pro fight was against me, so he risked a lot to fight me because I had already had 15 pro fights, and so that should have told me a lot there. This guy must be that good that he's willing to go in with a seasoned pro, a former champion, and fight me. And so during that fight, to answer your question, during that fight, in the 5th round, which was the last round, during that 5th round, I had already made a decision that it was over. Just the severity of the blows and the pain. In my mind, I was fantasizing about the fight ending, me getting into my vehicle and going to a club or to a bar, because that's where my mind was at that time. To a bar and get some probably illegal stuff and do some illegal stuff and be out there partying, because I didn't want to be in that ring at that time. So I had called it quits mentally in that fight. When they stopped the fight, I didn't argue. A lot of times when they stop fights, us fighters, we argue. Hey, what are you doing? I'm okay. I didn't argue. It's like, so I had mentally shut down at that night, February 11th, 1993. Hard to describe. It's like, to get a second chance, it almost feels like a lot of times I have to pinch myself and remind myself that I'm not 21 because I feel like I am. It almost takes me back into a subconscious state of like I'm back in 1985. It really, and it's weird. It's like I go into a dream because everything I did, I'm doing right now back then that I did when I trained, I'm doing right now, and I'm not feeling much different. It's not like I'm getting reality checks like, God, I'm achy. I mean, I did ache for a minute, but I always did even when I was younger. It's a painful business. But to have the second chance, I'm on pins and needles on the way to the gym every day. It's like I got butterflies, like I'm going to fight because I'm so excited about what may happen in the gym. The fact that I'm in the gym competing with all these guys that are younger than me actively, and I'm this close to being a professional boxer. That just to get my license is monumental right now, and I'm so close. I'm going to get the license, but that right there is the biggest hurdle, and I'm going to get it. And a lot of people thought I wouldn't, and they still probably think I'm not going to get it. I just want to tell them that, we only have one life. We've only got one life, and to lay back and have to say I should have or I could have or I would have is shameful. I think people ought to just take the risk, and if it's in their heart, pray on it, and God will allow it. I mean, if it's not illegal, if it's something moral and something that's along the lines of God's, permission, then I don't see why you can't do it. And like I say, I just think the society's cruel and judgment, and I just don't always listen to people because they're human just like everyone else. And that's a message that God said so. God said you can do it. It says so in the Bible. I live by the Bible, and the Word is in there. That's our manuscript. God spoke through the Bible, and I live by the Bible. And it says that I can do all things. If I can do it, anyone can do it. So that's my message, is God said so. GSS. God said so. Bottom line.